Okay, we're here with one of the owners from Stables now, the legendary Clive Gibbins. Going to tell us a little bit about this venue. So Clive, how did it all start?
Well, it wasn't strictly speaking my idea, this. It was Vinny, John Pritchard's idea. He wanted to run a fishery, he wanted his own fishery. And he found the place. I think he found it on Google Earth.
Yep. And
he came down, had a little walk round. This is 2 winters ago. Asked if I'd like to get involved with it.
Yep.
Which I did. We then tracked down the owner, which was no mean feat. And after a lot of negotiation, we finally got the go-ahead to run it as a carp fishery.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it's quite hard to track down the owner of something like this because it's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it, basically?
Well, yeah, it was an amazing story. I bumped into a guy, sorry, down that side, down the canal side, and I recognised him. He used to go to the school with me.
Right.
I said, I know that guy. So I literally stopped him and I said, do you know who owns this lake? He says, oh yeah, Cor Van Dyke.
Right.
Where does Cor Van Dyke live? Over there.
Right.
So that's how we found him.
So I mean, obviously, if you walk on this fishery now, it's absolutely pristine, isn't it? You've done so much work on it. What was it like when you first walked onto the banks?
Well, it was first came in winter, and it was horrific.
Yeah.
And you could barely get round it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was just like a hole in the ground. Granted, we had the trees and everything, but you couldn't. There was no access around it.
That's right. Yeah. No swims cut out or anything.
No, there was a couple of platforms that he'd put in for his son.
Yeah.
Cord put a couple of platforms in, and he'd put some carp in 2008.
Okay.
So they'd been swimming about really unmolested because his son really didn't bother fishing it. We don't know how many there were. When we test fished it in 2010, was it? No, 11. We caught a lot. We caught a lot of carp, but they're all commons, mainly small.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was the biggest we got caught was by Vinny. He had an 1810, I think. Lovely golden common, really nice fish. But they were mainly quite small, but seemed to be a lot of them. But with the more we fished, test fished it, the catches dwindled pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, they learn quick.
Oh, they learn quick, and we thought there were hundreds, but probably there weren't. There were quite a lot, and they were very, very naive. Yeah, yeah, we were getting recaptures.
So in terms of like as a carp fishery now, you've had it up and running since April this year. What sort of stocking policy's gone on, and what sort of stocking levels? You've not got the true numbers, I know, but because you're not allowed to net it, are you?
We're not allowed to net it. That was one of the rules of the lease from the owner. There's no male nuisance species to speak of. There's a lot of rudd.
Yeah.
But there seems to be half a dozen or so tench have been caught.
Okay.
No bream. Nobody's had a pike or anything. So it is mainly carp.
Yeah.
We've tried to balance the stock with anything we've put in has been really mirrors. We put as many mirrors as we can.
Yeah, that's because there were so many commons.
So many commons, and nice as commons are.
Yeah. Yeah, you want a bit of variety.
Yeah, you want variety because you're like, oh, another common, another common. Yeah. Mix it up. And I don't know, Paul. Putting a number on how many fish in here is virtually impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll stick my neck out and say there should be a minimum of about 250.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I mean, what sort of size is this acreage-wise?
It's about 3 acres, probably a tad less.
Yeah. And you'd expect them to be crawling up the rods, wouldn't you, really, with that number of fish in the size of the water, but...
It doesn't happen, does it?
Well, there's occasions that they go daft, don't they, and you catch a load of them, but, you've got to work at it, haven't you? It's not a venue that you can just come and just sling a rod out and just catch fish, is it? You've got to be, a little bit thoughtful of what you're doing, and so what sort of average size fish are you generally catching in here?
Well, it varies from. We're getting quite a lot of doubles now, and that doesn't sound like that impressive, but for
when
us,
you see them,
for us that's good because. A lot of them didn't go in at anything like doubles, so the stockfish are doing really well.
So it shows that they're growing, doesn't it?
Yeah. We've possibly got 6 to 7 20s, which is nice. The kind of like the crown jewels are really now are there's a common round about £27,
Yep,
which I
right.
haven't caught yet, which is unbelievable fish.
Is that the long one? Yeah, that's right.
The fully scaled mirror that you and I have both been privileged to catch.
That's right.
That's round about £34, £35.
That's right, it is.
And lots of fish in between.
Yeah.
But you're right, it isn't desperately easy. It's strange.
That's right.
We know there's probably, I don't know, 60 fish, 70, 80 fish per acre in here.
Yeah.
Yet sometimes you come and you think there weren't any.
That's right, yeah. I mean, it's like, obviously we've been here overnight now, and we've only seen one show, which you'd expect to see a lot more, won't you? But other times, like when I fished it a few months ago, the displays are massive. You know, and you think, blooming, you know, look at them all, where have they come from, type of thing. So, you know, you do stand chances of catching them if you're on, and once them shoals are there, obviously you'll catch them, won't you?
Yeah.
You know, the general rule.
We're all learning. It's on our first year.
Exactly.
So you're here, it's mid-November.
Yeah.
No idea what's going to happen.
No. Well, that's it. It's never been fished, has it?
There's no track record that we can say you need to be there, you need to be there.
Yeah.
How hard it'll be in winter, we don't know. But it's been quite tricky for some people this year, which makes it interesting, really.
Of course it does. So on the sort of like the facility side, I mean, this is quite a unique fishery. I've never been to a fishery like this before that offers the bits and bats that it does. You know, obviously you've got a bank over to our left, which is sort of like what I don't know, the car park bank.
Yeah.
And we've got
field side bank. Yeah.
What we call the tracker bank.
Correct.
Can you explain?
Yeah,
a little bit
that's quite easy to talk about, really. I mean, when it came about we were going to have this place, I had a vision in my head how I would like it to look and turn out. It wasn't all down to me because there was 3 other people involved as well, but I wanted it neat and tidy, clean, easy access. You know, you can come here in white trout pumps and
don't
it's
get
November, I've got white pumps on, you don't get muddy. That's not everybody's idea of a fishery, but it's my idea of a fishery.
Certainly one thing I noticed as soon as I sort of like I loaded the barrier up, you know, obviously because there's bivvies in swims, there's nets, there's mats, there's waistling, the amount of gear you've not got with you, you know, you're always thinking, what have I forgot? Because it's all provided, you know, so you know you've got bivvies in the swims, twin skins on them as well, so you know for this time of year it's ideal for the winter conditions. There's loads of room in them, you've got obviously ample peg space, as you can see you've got the mats in the weigh stations even behind us, so
all these things I've like picked up on from other fisheries I've been to.
In your
I've been around a bit and getting on a bit, and I thought I like that. You know, I like that idea. You know, buckets on chains, right? That's a good idea. Weigh stations. Well, so we've kind of put the whole lot together
and built a package.
Yeah, I did wonder about having the bivvies in the swim. Is it a good idea? Is it a bit cheesy? But people like it. It's working, and you want an overnighter. You're in, aren't you? And you're out.
Well, I was on I don't know, 2 weeks ago over the weekend, and the rain was on and off, and it was heavy. And one of your bugbears when you're packing up is, I've got to pack up when I can get everything away as dry as possible. You know, I pack the gear away in the bivvy. Just pack my rods away quickly and it's away. I've not got to worry about taking a bivvy down. You know, which is a great facility. I mean, I have, you know, when I first thought about a bivvy, I want to be in my own.
Be in your own bivvy.
But once you've been on and you've been in one, I mean, you know, part of the rules on the lake is, you know, it's got to be left in the condition it's found. There's brushes there for us to brush the bits of chippings out that you've walked in and out, so it's nice for the next anglers. Zip the doors down so there's no elements going in there, and they're as good as the bivvy you would bring with you. You know, you can't. You know,
they're good quality bivvies. People have been looking after them. As you know, a lot of it's working out. We tried to set up this fishery, as you say, a little bit different. It's a day ticket, but it's got a membership system, and hopefully that makes people feel as though they're kind of involved a little bit, as though they're part of it, rather than just turn up, leave a load of litter, clear off, and it seems to be working. People are appreciating what we've done. We're appreciating what they're doing by looking after the place while they're here.
I mean, even like the shuttering that goes round the back of the bivvies and the nice steps and everything, it's all part of setting the scene, isn't it? With the chip bark pegs and the sleepers, etc. The way it's actually set out, it's really comfortable.
It's really comfortable. I think we tried to. What I wanted was a balance of the comfort, the paths and everything, but also that it blends in with a bit of. I didn't want it scorched earth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't want a scorched earth fish, but I think it's kind of a perfect balance. And as you're well aware, a few weeks ago when it was in its full summer bloom, it looked fantastic. Yeah, it's dying off a little bit now.
Yeah, obviously, like you say, we're in mid-November. It is cold. We've had a couple of frosts, haven't we, prior to today? So all the greenery is on its way out, I suppose, isn't it? But in the summertime, it looks, I'd say even now, it looks a totally different lake, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think
which any lake does, to be fair, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you're keen on your winter fishing, I mean, you could come worse places, couldn't you? Yeah, that's not a plug. I'm not going to plug it, but you're not going to get too mucky and up to your neck in mud.
It is nice. I mean, even the path that goes around the perimeter of the fishery is shuttered and barked. Yeah. So even the path, as soon as you pull in the car park, you're on clean ground right to any swim you want to choose, and the same going back, aren't you?
I had to fight hard for that one.
Yeah.
I had to fight.
Yeah, but it's paid off. You've only got to
get the path round it, but
once you've been on here, you can't understand the magnitude of the amount of work that's actually gone into it.
Massive.
This was unfishable and just totally wild, and what's actually been achieved is just fantastic, isn't it? There's no other way of describing it.
Thank you.
It's a credit to the guys that have done it.
There was a lot of graft went in. Yeah. We had a lot of machinery down here, people giving up their spare time to work the diggers, and seriously, some, good friends have done stuff like that for nothing. And we've looked after people as best we can with a bit of free fishing here and there. We're indebted to them that it's ended up like this because, best will in the world. It's not my forte, digging.
No. Well, I remember the pictures. You spent a lot of time late on the bank pointing, didn't you? So
I used to go and get the fish and chips and the bacon butties and things.
One other thing that is on the site as well is there's a toilet here, which is basically it's all astroturfed, all done out. It's nice and clean. It's got all the facilities there that you want. So pretty much everything the only thing they don't have, I suppose, is running water. Everything else is actually provided for you at this fishery. Over in the car park, it's completely fenced off from the car park once you come through the gate, right around the whole perimeter of the fishery. You actually feel nice and safe here as well. So if you want to come up on your own and fish through the winter, as long as you've got your basic amenities, everything else is here for you. You've not got to really go off site for anything. No matter what the weather throws at you, you've got a twin skin bivvy, you've got a nice chip bark path and pegs, so pretty much everything's provided. A great little venue for all year round fishing. You've also got a good chance of a bite. So
and you've had a bite?
Yeah, I had one last night.
It says it all.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers, Clive.
Yeah. There's certain things we've done that, again, we're happy with. We don't let anybody come down to the fishery.
Yeah, you've got a book on, haven't you?
You've got a book on, and unless you're fishing at Stables, you don't come down.
Yeah.
So nobody will come down.
No spectators.
No spectators. It's all fenced off. There's a padlock on the gate. So when you're here, it's yours, and you shouldn't get any interference, and it's quiet and peaceful.
That's it. I mean, just touching on sort of like on the facility side of it, you provide the landing nets, the unhooking mats, the weigh slings. You don't, under any circumstances, want anybody to bring them. Them with them from a disease point of view. I presume that's as well as the facilities.
It was a two-way thing. It was making it easy for the anglers. You don't have to bring that, but obviously there's a disease implications as well.
And also there's barrows provided as well. So if you don't want to bring a barrow with you, a carp port or whatever you want to call them.
No, there's 3 or 4 of them down there.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 barrows here for you as well, so you can transfer your gear. So if your space is limited for your car, etc., you don't need a barrow, you don't need a bivvy, landing net, unhooking mat or a weigh sling, so you can come down here with minimal gear at any time of year, and everything's provided for you. So I think we've pretty much touched on everything there. Is there anything you want to add to that, Clive?
No, I don't think so. So we're only the one thing we will be monitoring as best we can is the stock levels.
Yep.
be nice, you know, I'm sure a pattern will emerge.
Of course it will.
We'll get an idea, we'll certainly get an idea of the big fish, we'll see how the stockies are doing, and we will address that. We want it to be as good as it can be.
Yeah.
You know, there are financial restraints on any fishery. You can't just go out there and
buy 2020s or whatever.
It's you know, it's very, very expensive pastime, but we just want it to be as good as it can possibly be.
Okay.
And a bit of regular maintenance will keep the place as it should be.
Yeah. Okay, so if that interests you, fishing on Stables, you can find all the details that you need, rules, prices, everything up to date on the website, and you can also follow them on Facebook, which we'll put on at the end of this video. So thanks very much for that, Clive.
You're welcome.
Okay,
thanks,
pal.
Polly.
Thanks for watching.
Right, here we are. It's hang on, just put that back over. It's the last day, last morning. What I've been doing hasn't been working, obviously, because I've not caught anything up till I sort of sorted things out last night. Paul's obviously locked onto the winning formula, so to speak, with the bags. So with that in mind, I came back to Peg just before dark last night. Took all 3 rods in, marked up where I was fishing to, sorted everything out, got some bags on, had them back out, and actually put me left-hand rod into a new spot. I brought it down out of the shallow area into a slightly deeper area over just off the marginal shelf on the far side, basically. Got to about 2 o'clock, I think it was, when I got my first hit, and reeled it in. It was about a £5 tench, something like that. So I knew, you know, something's working now. So I'm obviously hooking into fish, and I got a little bit more confidence back. Yeah, so basically got that rod back out, and then around, I think it was about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I got a run off of the baited spot that me and Paul are sharing out in the middle there. And again, the bag obviously doing the trick, and I've got a common. It was only small, so I was going to keep hold of it for the camera, but I thought, nah, I'll put it back because we've seen some stockies already. And then, yeah, this morning, about, I think it was about 6:30, 6:45, got this little one here. It wasn't a very good take, actually. This is off the new spot as well. It was sort of a couple of pulls up and then a little drop back, so I jumped up, come out, because obviously when you've had nothing, you get them little bleeps and you need to be on them. So I come out, had my bobbin had pulled up a couple, and yeah, I thought, right, okay, so I flicked the alarm off, tightened up the line a bit, had a little feel, just pulled the line. I felt a little kick, thought, right, okay, so I lifted into it. I was wondering what I'd hooked, to be fair. I thought I might hook a branch or something like that going underwater, but got it about halfway back, and then it kicked into life and started going absolutely mental. Took me right round into the side here. I played it all back through the reeds, and then I've netted it up. So let's have a look at him now. He's not massive, but you know, when the weather's chilly like it is, and the action's been really slow for me, it's very, very welcome. But yeah, as you can see, he's quite lively. I'd say he's about probably around £10. It's quite deceiving because they're very, very chunky fish. I mean, if I turn him side on, you can see the belly on him. But yeah, another cracking Stables mirror, and you can tell, you know, it's absolutely gorgeous scale pattern on them, and yeah, couple of years, and these are going to be absolutely stunning fish. I can't wait to come back to have another little bash at them when they're a bit bigger, that's for sure. So yeah, I'm a happy bunny, so it's time to slip him back now. Right, so here we are at the end of our session now. It's been a cracking couple of days up here, hasn't it, mate?
It certainly has, mate. So, really enjoyed it. Managed to catch a few. I mean, the conditions have changed a bit now, haven't they? The wind's gone a lot colder, changed direction.
Yeah.
You was lucky enough to have 3 bites last night. One of them a tench.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, obviously it took a little change in tactics, but it's been, I think the most fun about this trip is the fact that it's all been experimental. You know, I've been trying certain things, you've been trying something different. We've covered pretty much sort of every angle we can, like like with regards to depths and areas. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think peg choice we've done pretty well, really, in terms of the way we've positioned ourselves, because we've had nobody else on the lake. It's been a bonus to us because we've been out casting sort of like in other people's swims, if you like, if you know, if that's the way to put it. You know, we've been able to put the baits into different areas and real pan the rods out and try and get an idea where the fish are.
We've had the run of the place, haven't we?
Basically, you know, we've been lucky enough to have the place to ourselves, which is fantastic. You know, we've been lucky that nobody else has come on.
Exactly.
Because we've not had it exclusive to ourselves, have we?
No. It's been open.
Yeah.
So
the fishery's open, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it's not been anything special in that regards. You know, anyone else could have turned up, which is, you know, again, is one of the risky things when you're fishing a day ticket venue. Yeah. You get your little plans sorted out, and then someone comes along, sets up in the next swim and scuppers
it. That's
right. So we've been fortunate. But
I mean that's definitely helped from a catching perspective, hasn't it? You know. It's been, you know, we've been able to pan out the full lake basically and put rods in there for, you know, period of time and
really
give us an idea whereabouts they've come from. And to be fair, where they come from, not last night, the night before, they've not been there last night, have they? They've moved up towards you on the back of the wind, haven't they? Which has taught us a lesson, hasn't it?
Definitely, exactly. Yeah, we know that they're not, you know, they're not sitting right on the front of the wind. Yeah, they're not exactly sitting on the back of it because it is a cold wind. So it's like, you know, where the wind's sort of churning that water back, it's pulled them off this bank. Yeah,
the undertows obviously pushed the fish back with it, hasn't it?
Pushed them back up towards the middle of the lake, which has been a right bonus for me. Like I say, I had the tench early hours this morning, then with the little common, and then that mirror that you've seen on camera today.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the maggot approach hasn't really worked, has it?
It's not paid off. I think we've been, you know, because we've had a lot of, you know, single bleeps and bobbing movements. Yeah. I think the rud have been getting in there and knocking the lines. I mean, you know, you can only sort of surmise when you sat at the bank. You know, you've got a lot of time to think about things.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I think's been happening with that.
But, I mean, I think it's a tactic that'll definitely work. You know, maybe I've overbaited with them, maybe I've underbaited with them. I don't really know. I've probably put a couple of gallon in, and I really expected if the carp come in on that baited spot, you know, you'd really reap the rewards off it. Definitely. You know, you catch a lot of fish off it, you know, because when they get on them maggots, you know, they're pretty easy to catch once they're preoccupied
on them.
You know, and definitely. You know, but unfortunately that rod hasn't happened. It's been solid bags. I mean, you've changed your tactics to solid bags.
Yeah, I changed everything over to the solid bags last night, like I said earlier. Yeah. As soon as I've done that, I've had 3 hits. You know,
exactly.
So
you know, and that's what I've been catching on,
and that's what you've been having the fish on. So that tells you that today. Circumstances, obviously yesterday the circumstances, that was what was going to work. You know,
I mean, them little small piles of bait in the right spot have done the business, haven't they?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So, but we're not 100% that's going to work even next time.
No, but might be single up baits, might be stringers.
Exactly.
You know,
but
we just don't know.
We've got a starting point, haven't we? So
absolutely.
You know what, we know this has been working, so we can try it, and then again, if it's not working, we start ringing changes and. You know, we're not going to sit idle behind the rods on one method.
Exactly.
That's the point I'm trying to make from it all. So I mean, it's not been massively successful on the fish front, as in sizes. We've done really well to have a few of the stockies out, and I mean that's cheered me up. You know, anything's better than a blank.
I think we've done well. You know, considering, you know, the weather changes, you know, the temperatures and what have you. It's been a little bit up and down, you know. Definitely. Wind direction's been all over the show. It's not been consistent, has it? So, you know, we've both been lucky enough to catch, which I think is definitely a bonus, especially, you know, we're coming into that lull out with that knock.
Yeah, it's that quiet time now, isn't it? Well, it's getting that way. Yeah, exactly. But Paul was here a couple of weeks back, and you were lucky enough to catch the big girl out of here, weren't you? So
I had
what did she weigh in at?
Well, I had the one that's called the fully scaled in here, or the fully as they call it. That one was 35.4. Yeah,
absolutely stunning fish. We've got some footage of that, so we're going to let you have a look at that now. We'll see you shortly.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Just had an absolute screaming run on my middle rod, which was fished just over to the left hand margin out of my swim. I've had it over a bed of 10 milli Nash Manchester Specials, and this has just ripped off. There's 2 target fish that I'm after in here, one being a common and the other ones are fully scaled. The fellow I've just landed is the fully scaled. I've just weighed him. He's just weighed in at 35 pound 4 ounces. So let's see if we can show you this angry fella now. He absolutely flew off, and it was an epic battle. So in several weed beds, managed to get him out. There he is, fully scaled from Stables Carp Fishery at 35 pound 4 ounces. Beautiful looking creature. Had him on Nash Diffusion Leader, the Fang X size 7 barbless. Fished in a solid bag, a 10mm, 3 offerings, and a nice scattering of 10mm as well. There you go, let's get him back, let's see if we can catch the common.
So as you can see from the footage there, Paul was pretty over the moon to have caught that one, wouldn't you, mate?
Yeah, I mean obviously it's one of the target fishing here, you know, we're all after the bigger ones in any lake, aren't we?
Definitely,
and to catch it, you know, so quickly, you know, I feel quite privileged to have caught it. I mean, it's an awesome fish.
It's a stunning looking fish.
Yeah, it's real angry looking fish, to be fair, you know, and it goes like mad, you know, when you get a, you know, you hook it, you know you've got it on, you know, absolutely, it's just a powerhouse, you know, real does beat you up. I mean, when I actually had the bite to land in it, I was playing the fish for probably, well, it felt like hours, but it's probably, you know, somewhere in the region of 15 minutes, and it didn't stop.
The old knees going, everything. You realise what you got in the end, don't it?
Well, when I first hooked the fish, it sort of like, because it was in the shallows amongst where the weed is, it made a beeline for the weed bed, and literally sort of like bolted across the surface, and as soon as I picked the rod up, I see, you know, and hooked it, I seen it. So, you know, I knew as soon as I got the bite.
They're not silly, are they? They know where to go.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it did mean I was in 3 weed beds that I had to pull it through, which was, you know, a bit heart stopping because you're under a lot of pressure, you know, with the hook hold and so on. You know, all the night I mean, knots right. You know they are, but you know that's like the extreme test. So all that goes through your mind as well.
Always goes through your mind when you're playing that fish, because it only takes one, you know, minor sort of lack of you know, thinking, concentration when you're tying things up, just to get it that's a little bit wrong, and it can be that make or break situation.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, the thing is with fishing a venue like this, because it has got fish like that in here, you know, you're not just fishing, you know, willy-nilly, you know, I'm only catching small ones, you know, the chances are you are going to eventually hook something like that, and you need to fish thinking that you know you're going to hook that every single time you put a rod in, you know. So
exactly, and again, because they've not been hooked that many times, like some of the bigger residents that are known to be in here, have not been caught that once, twice maybe, and you know it spooks them out and they go like freight trains. So
well, that particular one, the common, the fully scaled, it's with it being a male fish. It's you know, apparently it's got a lot of testosterone in it. You can see like the white pigments on its body, like
aggressive
fish, real pleasure to catch that one. You know,
definitely. You know, well, you certainly look like you enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. And it's nice to see it sort of like on the bank, and you know, one of your target fish is off the tip list, isn't it? So,
mate, there's nothing better than bagging something that you're aiming for.
Yeah.
It's a big confidence booster, I think. So
it's
a great achievement, you know, to sort of single out a fish that you want and actually catch it. It's what we're here for, you know.
Well, I think on that session I had 8 other fish as well.
Yeah.
You know, 2 of my rods that were going basically. The third one didn't have a bite off it, and you know. So have them 2 spots working and keeping the bait going in, and watching them sort of like you've got them on the mat excreting the bait out and stuff like that. You're thinking, they're on the bait, you know, they're eating it, they want it, and whatever, you know, and it just gives you all that confidence that everything's working right for you. So when you come for times like this, you still know.
You know the bait's good.
The bait and the rigs are exactly what I was using back then, and I know for a fact everything's absolutely
just applied slightly differently this time.
Yeah, slightly, but you know the mechanics of everything are exactly the same. You know, it's just a few little tweaks you do in for certain times of year or certain situations, but you know, predominantly we're fishing exactly the same.
Excellent.
So there we have it.
There's not a lot left to do now, but wait for that last gasp fish, hopefully, and sort of get the gear together.
That's it. Well, it's time to pack up and go home now, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Unfortunately, only got an hour or so left, haven't we? And you know, it's time to go. But
yeah,
you know, come back again and have another crack.
Leaves us to say thank you very much for letting us fish here, Clive. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate. So we look forward to coming back.
Yeah, exactly. If you need any more information, we're gonna put the website and the Facebook and contact details up at the end of this video. So
yeah,
thanks very much for watching.
Bye bye.